Good afternoon. Cigar Review 24, the Rogue Tyrant by Gurkha. This is a Nicaraguan 5-inch 52 ring gauge cigar. It is what I would call mild to medium body. There's no way that I could possibly describe this as being anything stronger than that. It's just not that hefty of a cigar. Gurkha does make almost this exact same cigar in different sizes. Instead of calling it Rogue Tyrant, they call it things like Armageddon, Bamboozle, which in my opinion is just gimmicky as hell. Right? I'm a big fan of Monte Cristo number 2, number 3, number 4, whatever. I don't like gimmicky cigars, but Gurkha's a weird brand. So let me talk about the cigar first, and we'll switch back to the oddity that is Gurkha. So the cigar itself, heavily box pressed. I don't like box press cigars. I don't like 50 ring gauge cigars in general. But they won me over on this one because it initially had a closed foot, right? My foot was done over with wrapper leaves. Phenomenal. And the reason why I love that on any cigar is because you can light it so much easier. That wrapper catches and then it tends to go around the circumference of the cigar and light it on fire a lot easier. So instead of me getting the lighter and having to kind of rotate the cigar, the foot does it for me. You get a much more even burn right off the bat. Tasting notes now: spice, chocolate, pepper being the spice, maybe a little bit of leather. It's actually a decent tasting cigar. It is certainly improving. I usually do these reviews twice just so I can kind of get down what I'm going to say. And it has actually improved since the first review. And a lot of times when people review cigars, they say first, second, and third part of the cigar. It is improving, to its credit. I'll give my final review at the end, but Gurkha's a brand, man. They're weird. They're some weird guys. So they started out with a guy in Goa, India that owned a duty-free shop. He ended up buying some Gurkha branded cigars from some other guy for like $200. I think he bought the brand for probably another $800. And that was in the 90s. His name's Kazid Hansodia, which I probably just butchered how that's said because I'm not Indian. But he's a weird guy. In his office in Miami, he's got all these weird relics that all have a story. He's got an ashtray that's bronze, and it's a skull, and it was apparently modeled after the skull of a Taliban leader. I mean, I've got some weird stuff in my library. I don't have anything that weird. That's pretty odd. So that tells you probably everything you need to know about the guy. That's what I would expect from a guy that names cigars Rogue Tyrant and Armageddon. The thing about Gurkha is that they have cigars that totally run the quality gamut. Everything from just absolute garbage that, I'd be embarrassed to find in a gas station, and cigars that, rival the Andalusian Bull for quality. They run the board. This cigar is kind of on the bottom end. I initially gave it pretty unfavorable rating. I still would not consider this what I would call a buy cigar. In other words, I would never hunt this out. I would never go to the cigar store and look for it. But if someone was to give me, 10 of these for free, I would accept them. And that would be fine with me. So that's what I'll give it. Something else that I'm just going to nitpick about. I hate it when you can't get the glue undone on a wrapper. I had to pull it over the back end, which I really don't like doing because it can tear the cigar up. It's not an especially well-made cigar from the start. So overall, tasting, pretty good. It actually had a really weird smell at the beginning. I personally do not smoke marijuana, but that's kind of what it smelled like to me right when I lit it, which was not pleasing to me, but that's luckily since dissipated. So overall, neutral rating, decent cigar. If you see one, by all means, smoke it. If it's free, right? I don't think I'd pay for this again. So that's cigar review number 24. Gurkha Rogue Tyrant, given a neutral rating. As always, thank you so much for watching.